Hello again, YouTubes! This week I am making a Pacific Rim Pauldron. A lot of cosplayers have an uncanny ability to turn absurd and unlikely materials and items into costume pieces. For some this borders on black magic, as they turn pop bottles and shoelaces and baby toys, and I can only assume the blood of a newborn fawn, into a fully functional suit of power armor. This ethos of faking it runs so deep in the cosplay community that sometimes they forget that there are other ways of doing things. Many costumers started off when they were too young and broke to do things properly, but when they grow up they seem blind to the fact that it's taking them as much time, money and skill to fake something as it would to do it properly, and sometimes much more. They also seems to be an illusion that there is some huge barrier to entry to doing things the way the pros do. But very often, the way the pros do it is the cheapest and fastest way to do it. So, in preparation for an upcoming convention that I'm speaking at, I've built something using only a basic set of tools to demonstrate that you can get into armor smithing without having custom machinery and expensive equipment, and you can do it in your basement or your backyard pretty easily and cheaply, and you can make some pretty interesting things that way. What I built is a Pauldron from Pacific Rim, which ironically, as I'm talking about faking things, wasn't made from metal in Pacific Rim. It was almost definitely made from resin. For purposes of demonstration though, this has all the things that I want to show people. So to beat out the basic shape, all you need is, well, basically a ball-peen hammer, although it's much easier if you get a slightly more difficult to find hammer, which is an auto body shaping hammer. You can get these at Harbor Freight if you're in the States, or Princess Auto if you're in Canada, for something like 10 bucks. And they've just got a gentle dome on one side and a big broad flat face on the other, and they're great. You can do an awful lot of metal shaping with just that and a hunk of wood with a little dish dug into it. Now, you don't need a big divot the same size as the thing you're making. You just need something a little bit bigger than the face of the hammer you're using to hammer your metal into it. And that's the easy bit. You can get this entire shape just hitting a hunk of metal into a dish. And you don't need any heat or a forge or big hammers. Now, I used a big heavy hammer because I'm too lazy to hit it that many times, but you can do it with just that one hammer. Then, to get this fancy shape in, I needed a couple of cold chisels, which are cheap and easy to find, and a file to take the sharp edge off so that they could be round. One I had very deeply rounded out so I could hit this side, and the other I left fairly pointy but rounded so it didn't cut through the metal to put the lines in on the other side. And using the end of the wood that you're dishing into, or some sturdy foam like the stuff you use for garage floor mats or Master Chief armor, you can pound in this whole pattern. And it's something that a beginner can do with an investment of maybe $40 or $50, which is way less than I know people spend buying paints and polishes and compounds to make something look like steel when they could just use 20 gauge mild steel, which is some of the cheapest and easiest to find stuff on the planet. Thank you all again for watching. As always, subscribe above, comment below, and if you happen to be in the Kitchener-Waterloo area of Ontario, Canada, this weekend, which is the 18th and 19th of January 2014, I guess YouTube videos last a while, then check out TriCon. It's a new convention, and it's happening this weekend, and I will be doing some demos as to how to make one of those.